For some, recovering after a calamity may even be harder than the disaster itself. It's almost a year after the super typhoon Yolanda, and some survivors are still in the healing process, not only mentally but also physically. One of the therapies intended for traumatic injuries is what's called Bowen Therapy, and Bowen practitioners Jim Kearney and Tina Price are here this morning to tell us more. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak, Jim and Tina. Well, I guess I was able to watch some videos on YouTube about the Bowen Therapy, and for someone seeing it for the first time, it seems like just like any other massage, but I know that it's not. Tell us more about it.
Different. One of the things about Bowen that is really apropos for Yolanda recovery is it immediately brings the nervous system back into balance. It brings you into a state of peace. Many of these people, 1 year anniversary is the most difficult. Involved, you know, around trauma, 1 year anniversary, terrible, but these kind of modalities can bring you back into a state of relaxation, so the healing can start to begin. Much of the recovery is physical for injuries like shoulder, neck, but what it does, it also brings the nervous system back into balance. So Tina here, she came here in June. She came here last January. She's been doing this. She can tell you what it's done for the people right after Yolanda.
Oh, so right after Yolanda, January, just like 2 months after.
My husband and I, we decided that rather than send money over to help people, that with my skills as a Bowen therapist and a Bowen teacher, that we could possibly do more for the survivors.
Yes.
And we came over and we worked in a couple of missions. We worked out at Tent City, and we treated people with Bowen therapy with some great results.
Like how many sessions will it take for somebody to actually feel a change?
Yeah. Normally, in our clinics at home, we treat a person for about an hour using subtle movements of the hands and the fingers over muscles and tendons and ligaments. And this takes the body down into a relaxed and repair mode. So it's a little bit like when people have really bad trauma and they're in hospital, they will very often put them into a comatose state. And Bowen therapy can do something very similar. Obviously, you're not comatose, but you are in a relaxed state where your body can repair. The body has the ability to repair itself.
Yes, we don't read about that.
That's right.
But I understand that for the body to go into a healing mode, it has to be at a certain state. So is this what Bowen therapy is doing to the body?
Yes, and also the interesting thing about Bowen that makes it very different from anything else, it awakens the communication between the brain and the body. So the brain, because also these people that have been in this trauma, they're in fight and flight. They're locked in fight and flight since the trauma. I've worked with soldiers who have been in trauma for years. First time on the Bowen table, first time they felt peace in their body. But then the brain, the brain is able to sense what's going on in the body, what's holding.
I see.
And then it starts that communication, so injuries can start to...
I see. So it's like the brain is able to go in a state to look through each nook and cranny in the body to see what could be could be wrong.
What the body needs to repair itself. When we were over here last time, we noticed that when people came in to the area that we were working in, that they were looking really sad. Their body language, was very... you could see that they were under stress. They were depressed.
Yes.
And they were so excited that we'd arrived, that we came and to help them. And they would lay on these beds, which were very makeshift, sometimes on the floor, on the ground.
Yeah, we're seeing
You're
the
seeing the
photographs
pictures here, absolutely. Yes. And this is my husband, actually.
Okay.
And after we'd finished the session, we would find that they would get up and they'd have a spark in their eyes, and their faces would look not so pale. They'd have a bit of colour in their face. Their body was more erect. We had certain protocol that we use that would help to spread their chest out so that they could breathe more easily.
I see.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that you're also teaching more Filipinos now
That's right.
to help others.
Absolutely. I've just done a class here in the Philippines. When my husband and I were here last time, we actually adopted a family and we've sponsored them and we built them a house. My husband spent 5 weeks here building a house for them. And the young woman who has 5 children, I flew her up from Tacloban to do my course up here. So she's actually done the first session, and my idea now, and Jim's as well, is that I come over and teach so that the local people can learn just basic moves to help their countrymen. We've come over here because we feel it's really important. Stress can really bring people down so much. Bowen Therapy can lift them.
So who will be, for those who may want to be accredited Bowen therapists, can they, is there a way for them to take part in this project of yours?
Yes, well, one of the benefits is Tina's teaching on Module 1 and Module 2 coming up very soon. What you learn in Module 1 and 2 can immediately be used, and really
it can already have a big impact for Yolanda survivors.
Absolutely. Even if they only ever learned Module 1 and 2, there are 7 modules altogether. But if they just learn the basic stuff, they can help other people. And my intention is to keep coming back to the Philippines and doing more and more work. We've gathered a lot of people together. There's four of us in the team at the moment. And we're off to Tacloban tomorrow.
I see.
Yeah.
And there's another one of our colleagues here who's also working. She's been working for quite a while with the homeless shelter as well, doing amazing work.
Well, I was going to ask you to do some demonstration, but we lack
Run
time.
out of time.
But for those who may want to help out in any way, how can they be part of your group, or at least offer their services?
Absolutely.
How can they do that?
As long if they can book in and come and learn the treatment. I'm doing Module 1 again at the end of this month before I fly back to Australia. But I will be back. I'm not disappearing. This is my mission now. It's my mission to bring Bowen Therapy to the Philippines and to make a difference. You know, Bowen Therapy does make a difference. It's an amazing modality, and it helps so many people with just simple moves. Nothing. They don't need to know.
They don't need any apparatus.
No,
they just have to be
just
there.
Just the hands.
And anybody can learn it. You don't have to have special skills for it.
No, absolutely not. Housewives, young teenage people can learn to do Bowen Therapy
Very quickly.
very quickly.
It really is stunning how amazing how quick it works.
I know it has helped both of you, and we read about your story as well. I know, Jim, you were a firefighter. Did I get it right?
In New York,
yeah, and it has helped you as well. And as a massage therapist, Tina, this was something also that added to this practice. So we hope to hear more about the Bowen Therapy, and we'd love to hear all the success stories as well, because you've seen the pictures. We're still reeling from the effects and from many other catastrophes that we've had in the Philippines. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Pleasure.
And we've just spoken with Bowen practitioners Jim Kearney and Tina Price.